Is Afraid. What is Beau afraid of?
Beau Is Afraid. Well, have you been seeing the reviews on this movie? People are pretty... I don't think people are divided. I think people universally kind of hate it, right? Is that what's going on?
There's people who love it, but there's no in between. You either hate it or love it. I just saw that he came out, Joaquin Phoenix came out and said, look, we do not endorse you taking any kind of psychedelics before you seeing this film. That being said, if you do, please record yourself.
My God. Here's the thing. It's like this movie, just whatever you hear, this is not a bad movie. This is not a bad movie. This is not a poorly made movie. The craftsmanship here is off the chain. This may be one of those instances where no one was there to say, how about no? It's 3 hours. It's 3 hours.
It's 3 hours?
3 hours of Beau Is Afraid. Spans generations and years, lifetimes.
So that's young Beau.
That's young Beau right there. And you can't see him in this photo. We've got two other versions of old Beau.
Super tall Beau?
Super tall Beau is the older Beau. But there's just... Basically, the story, the plot, is Beau needs to get to his mom's house.
That's the only thing I could pick up in the trailer, and he doesn't leave, and he's a shut-in, but he can't get to his mom's house.
Beau needs to get to his mom's house, and he's got some issues. He's a bit neurotic. The first 45 minutes of this movie are probably the funniest movie you've ever seen in your life. Like, it's perfect. It's just a parody of like living in Los Angeles, and there's craziness in the streets, you know, and you're alone in this rinky-dink apartment building and nothing works and everybody's an a-hole, and it just works so well. Like, there's a part where Beau is just walking home to his apartment from the psychiatrist's office, and he's just casually sidestepping kids with guns, homeless people, naked homeless people, you know, just all kind, like gangs and people that are on psychedelics and dancing in the street. It's just, and he's just like casually going around them, and they just remain, and they end up becoming characters in that first 45 minutes. This movie has like acts. You have the first, there's 1, 2, and 3, and 4 acts. The first 40 minutes of it are great. So great. It's hilarious. You can't tell me this isn't a comedy. This is absolutely a comedy movie. It's meant to be a comedy. Like, I think if you I can't honestly say everybody should sit through the whole 3 hours, because spoiler warning, when you get to the end of this movie, I can see why people are hating it. The end of it is just, yeah, it's something.
So is that when it becomes a horror movie?
It becomes a horror movie from frame one, depending on what's scary to you. We already did the spoil. There's a giant 6 foot tall penis in this movie that terrorizes people. I'm just saying, like, this movie goes. This is if there's ever been an example of excess and letting a director just do too much of whatever they want, this is probably it. Because there's probably an awesome 2-hour movie here.
Oh man,
there's a spectacular 2-hour movie that could have been Best Picture kind of quality. I guarantee it.
Really,
it's in there. It's in there. It's the vision here, the craftsmanship, the way, the acting, it's all there. It's just a lot. And it goes on for a lot. And there's a point where the movie, you feel it's over, and it's a great ending. They could have just rolled credits. But then you get like another 5 minutes, and that last 5 minutes is really off-putting. In ways that I can't even explain to you on the internet, because we'll get shut down. But everything that happens before that there's so many things in this movie that are great. There's a scene. There is a there's a sex scene with Parker Posey and Joaquin Phoenix, and it's set to a Mariah Carey song.
What?
And it's so good. It's so hilarious. It's so well done. Like there's just like a thing where the song, like, you know, the song is like been playing and it's like, no, let's start over. And she restarts the whole song and they start over. And it's so funny. It's so well, there's so much good stuff in this movie. It's just probably would have wanted maybe consulted somebody that you trust, Ari Aster, one of your trusted colleagues, to just give you genuine notes on this. Be like, maybe we could cut this down. Because the parts that work great are great. There's an angsty teen in this movie that is like the nightmare angsty teen, teenage daughter that just is it's like the cliche of what a teenage angsty daughter would be on a sitcom, but dialed up to 100.
Oh my God.
It's hard to explain what this movie is. And that's why I think everyone should see it. Because it's definitely shot big. Like it's shot like a big screen experience.
Well, you're right. It doesn't. You can't even zero in on the genre because it's listed as a surrealist black tragicomedy horror film.
It is a comedy, for sure. It's a comedy. Like I said,
tragicomedy.
I don't think so.
That's what it has a list: surrealist black tragicomedy horror.
I mean, obviously Ari Aster has some mom issues because they're all over the place in this movie, but again, I can't stress enough.
Oh, I had no idea that he did Hereditary and Midsommar.
Yeah.
I didn't know those. Oh, wow.
I can't stress enough how great the first like half hour is. It's so good. It's just pitch perfect, done great. There's just like there's a homeless person who is stabbing people randomly in the streets, and the news is covering it, and his name is like Birthday Suit Stabby Boy is the name of this guy, and they have all the I can't describe it. It does so much. I would just see it. Just watch the first hour, and just check out, and the rest you just watch a YouTube video explainer.
That's what I feel like. I do want to watch it, but I feel like I need to watch it in a couple of parts. Like I'm still scarred from Babylon. That another movie that probably should have only been 2 hours.
I thought Babylon was good. I think if they had not had so many bodily functions in the first 5 minutes, and there was just an over indulgence of bodily functions throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
too much.
A 2-hour movie would have been better, and it sounds like Beau Is Afraid has a very similar vibe.
Just for the first half hour, dude, it is so perfect. Like it's the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life, and you're just like, this is supposed to be a horror movie, and it's pitch perfect. Like it's like Woody Allen type funny, you know, with the way it parodies living in LA. It's so good, but it's 3 hours. I'm not gonna lie, I thought about checking out multiple times, checking my watch, just like 2 more hours of this. All right. Because in the second act, it takes a turn where it gets really, really slow and sort of dreamy, and the pace just changes completely.
Man, yeah, 180 minutes, man. That's tough. That's a tough sell.
Yeah.
I didn't even look to see what it did box office wise.
I tell you what, though, if you want to have a better enjoyment of the movie, there's a part about 2 hours and 50 minutes in where it's just like, this feels like the end of the movie. Maybe I'll just get up and leave now. And you should leave at that point. Just go ahead and leave at that point. Because the last scene is just like the first scene in Babylon. Not in the sense that nobody's pooping on anybody.
Oh, yeah,
but it's just,
a lot of that.
It's just a lot of uncomfortable stuff going on at the very end of the movie, and then
man,
I can't even it's just it's its own thing, man. This movie is its own thing. And honestly, this is what movies should be. We should go to the movies to see this. Something, a unique vision from somebody, you know?
Yeah. Well, he has a good track record. Those two movies, that's got to be enough to get people in. And that's what I'm going to ask you. What are the people who are fans of Hereditary and Midsummer going to think when they show up to that movie?
I think they're going to be disappointed because this is absolutely a comedy. This is a funny movie. So deadpan funny. And there's so many jokes strewn throughout. And then once it gets into the deeply unsettling stuff, it's not horrific. It's family awkwardness.
Oh, man.
You know? It's sex awkwardness. Sex horror. You know? It's not for everyone, but this is definitely cinema. Like someone taking a big swing to try and make a really huge unique film that makes you react, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think the very end of this movie is meant to piss you off. It is meant to say, ha, you just sat here for 3 hours and psych. So, and it's 100% trying to do that. So I would say when you get to the point in this movie where it feels like it's over, that's when you should just go ahead and just switch over to whatever sports or something.
All right. So, but you did. It sounds like you at least enjoyed.
No, I enjoyed
a lot of elements.
I enjoyed the hell out of it. I think it is great. I think that I loved the movie. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say about it other than it might not be everybody's cup of tea.
Fair. It's just that, yeah, and I can see the runtime scaring people off too.
The runtime is intimidating,
and especially again, if you have that runtime, but and you're not going to deliver something worth that end to stick around. It's like, okay, I'm going to stick around for another extra hour. And then
that's the thing: is the ending absolutely it punishes you for sticking around.
Yeah, that's what
it just does it, and it's just you didn't have to do that. We stuck around for your Ari Aster.
Well, it doesn't. It's not listed, so I think it was a limited release this weekend, right? Well, no, it's that was $35 million budget.
I would say do an A24 cut. Do a different cut of this movie, please. Give us the 1 hour and 45-minute version of this, and I guarantee you it's going to be the biggest hit of the year.
Oh, man.
There's so much hilarious stuff in here.
Visually, it looks great. You love the look of it. Like the look of it.
Visually, it's awesome. Like
yeah.
It's one of the most visually unique movies of the year for sure. I can't stress enough how funny this movie is. It's hilarious.
Oh, it actually premiered at
Birthday Suit Stabby Boy should be bigger than he's gonna be.
Oh man! All right, definitely. Joe Bob says check it out.
Joe Bob says check it out.
Oh man, Bill Hader's in it as a UPS guy.
He is, and he doesn't show his face on camera. It's the scene with Bill Hader is mostly on the phone, and it is hilarious. Oh, and it's that I've been watching a lot of videos about Quentin Tarantino for the last few days, or whatever. Just the ability of a great director to make you laugh while they're talking about the most twisted stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You want me to describe the Bill Hader scene to you?
Yes,
is this a spoiler?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay.
We can spoil that.
So here's the thing. The central plot of Beau Is Afraid is Beau has to go get to his mom's house. He has to visit his mom. It's very difficult because he lives in an urban jungle, which is super dangerous, extremely dangerous where he lives. And, a lot of things going on. But anyway, he has to reschedule his flight, calls his mom. There's just an answer on the other line. And it's like, who's this? It's like, I'm just delivering a package. Anyway, the UPS guy says, I just walked in and answered the phone. There's somebody's here missing their head. And they're just like, and he's like, what are you talking about? And you know the way Joaquin Phoenix talks where he's kind of hard to understand?
Yeah.
He like dials that up to 11 in this movie. You can't understand what he's saying for half the movie. And he's just like, is this, and Bill Hader's on the other line of the phone is just like, is this some kind of practical joke? It's like, no. It's like, well, I don't understand what you're saying. He's like, there's a lady here missing their head. It looks like a chandelier fell on her head. And it's just, I'm just delivering a package.
That sounds hilarious.
And it's not played for comedy, but it's still funny. This movie's good. It is worth watching. It's worth your time. But maybe just if you're not in, it might just not be your cup of tea, especially the last 4 minutes.
Well, tell me how accurate the original title, how accurate it is comparing it to the original title, which was Disappointment Boulevard, was the original title.
I think if they cut this down to 1 hour, 45 minutes and call it Disappointment Boulevard, it would win Best Picture. That's what I think, honestly. Like, because like John Wick, remember John Wick was like 3 hours, but I didn't see anything you could cut because it was all so good.
Yeah.
This, I don't know what to cut. Someone would have to just cut it and not tell me. And then show me the 1 hour, 45 minute version of Disappointment Boulevard. I think it's going to win Best Picture.
All right. I mean, I'm definitely intrigued. I'm going to have to find a way to see it. Did you know it was A24's most extensive film ever?
It looks like it.
Really?
Yeah, you can tell.
So $35 million. It was released a week early in select IMAX theaters in LA and New York.
They definitely going for a big screen look on this.
Wow. And they had a Q&A event that was moderated by Martin Scorsese. So is it possible that this is going to be some kind of award film?
I don't think so. Not in its current state.
No?
It's too fatty. I just think there's too much. It's too much. I think this needed an edit. And I think, like Kevin Smith always tells them that story. He always tells that story about changing the end of Clerks where Dante got shot at the end.
Oh, yeah, yep.
This movie needed that guy.
Really?
To have a chat. It's like, maybe change the ending a little bit and just end it at this one part where he hops in the boat.
Oh, man.
I think that's a solid ending. Because, yeah. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. A lot of awkward stuff is going on in this movie.
The trailer came off as very awkward. Very visually appealing, but very awkward.
Yeah.
Like you realize that there was some awkwardness going on there.
And it's like the best giant killer penis you've ever seen on a movie. Because I describe it now and you think, oh, that's ridiculous. But no, it's well done. Like it's like the effects are on par.
Oh my God. So it's not a dream? It's not a simulation? This is like the real life for that world?
They never reveal what is a dream and what is not. This movie exists in both worlds simultaneously.
Okay, that's what I was curious about. So that's a little bit intriguing. So
there's a scene where the angsty teen is trying to peer pressure him in the smoking pot, and it's like the most. There's a lot in this movie that's really good.
It's being described as a Jewish Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Because this movie is huge in scope. He goes like it's got acts where he's in one world and he's in another world and he's in another world. Yeah, and then the Mariah Carey scene, and it's just there's so much that happens in this movie. I think I'm already just naturally imposed to be impatient just because of social media has boosted my ADD. But I was checking my watch to see how much time was left. I enjoyed all of it.
Oh, man. I was trying to find some put them on the spot reviews because Hefe went and saw it. Emax went and saw it.
Who saw it?
Hefe went and saw it, and which is shocked because he's like, "Oh yeah, I was at the movies. I went and saw Beau Is Afraid," and he gave me the gist of it. Where is it?
Did he like it?
It sounds like he did.
It's the only way. If you're like a cinema file, if you're a movie head, you're gonna like it because it's definitely a movie, and it's not like bad. The folks who are reacting poorly to it is because the end of the movie is a middle finger to you for watching it. It's just like that was unnecessary, but
dang, I can't find it.
it's quality.
Yeah. All right. I'll find a way to check it out. Again, it might have to be a home viewing, but I will find a way to check it out one way or another. It sounds like it would be nice to have the ability to hit pause and kind of get through certain acts.
Yeah, because the middle is very slow. The middle is like the first act is on speed. The second act is definitely on tranquilizers or something. It just gets really, really mellow and trippy and slow. It's almost as if he's just accentuating the fact that second acts in movies usually get slow, and he makes it really slow.
What about a six episode limited series?
It's not cohesive enough to do that.
To even do that?
You would just be watching garbled nonsense, 30-minute segments.
So you got to limp your way through. Gonna have to find a way. All right, let's find a way. Cool.
You'll like it. You'll like it.
It sounds like as much as I complain about Babylon, there's a lot in Babylon that I did like.
I would say it's better than Babylon.
Okay.
Babylon had no sense of humor about itself.
No.
It took itself way too seriously. This movie is goofing off the whole time. And there's so many like hidden jokes in the background and just random characters that are in this there's like a Vietnam vet who's PTSD'd the whole time, and they're always trying to like keep him calm with pills or he's gonna hurt somebody.
Oh my god.
Nathan Lane and Amy Ryan from The Office are in it as like these like super liberal suburban people who want to save everybody. You know, they end up helping Beau. Yeah, there's a brown recluse spider who's a big character. There's just a lot going on, man. It's good.
Everything you're describing to me, other than the runtime, sounds really fun. Like it does sound like something that you think this is going to age well. It sounds like it may age well.
I could see this aging well for, because it's when it becomes a late night viewer on cable, when folks are on their own, medicines, their home medicinals, and watching this late night at home. I could see this really getting a bigger following because again, it's so funny. It's just so funny that I don't think the trailer tries to make it seem like it's funny, but it's just like Joaquin Phoenix falling over. The way that they set up the world he lives in is like the best 30 minutes of a movie that I've seen in a while.
There was a headline here that Joaquin Phoenix was annoying the director by constantly fainting, and I don't know if he was just living his gimmick, because he lives in a state of paranoia, right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe he was going method and he just kept constantly fainting.
Well, that's great acting.
Yes.
If you can faint on command.